Hi friends, welcome. Hey, it's good to be with you. Happy summer to you. I don't know if you remember, but in our last video we talked about Missouri's birthday. Missouri is having its 200th birthday. Do you love birthday parties? Me too. And Missouri's having a really big one this year. And today we're going to talk about something that's very Missouri. Missouri has a slogan called Show Me Missouri. And I want to show me prairies, or show you prairies today, as we look at nature and a habitat of grasslands. It's a little different than the forest behind me. We're actually going to go to the prairie today and look at it. But prairies are awesome. Missouri had, at one time when it was really young, like its first birthday, it had 1/3 of our state was covered in prairies. And prairies are tall grasses, sometimes as tall as 10 feet tall, and they have deep, rich soil where a lot of plants and animals live. You're going to love visiting the prairie today. We're going to look at animals in the prairie. But before we get ready to head out to the prairie, I wanted to remind you of our song, Show Me Missouri, that I wrote for the birthday of our state. We're going to do a new verse today, and in this verse, you're going to listen for some prairie clues, okay? So you're going to listen for the word prairie, okay? You're going to listen for bobwhite quail. Bobwhite is our quail, is our state game bird. Remember, we have symbols in Missouri. The state game bird is the quail. And then listen for bluestem. That is our state grass. So when we do this song, listen to it. And if you want to rewind it and listen again, you can do that and try to learn the song with us, because each time we have we learn a lesson this summer, we're going to be adding another verse to our song. You guys ready? Okay. Let's do Show Me Missouri. Do you remember our state bird? Bluebird, that's right. You guys, that's what the song starts out with. Show me a bluebird, a bobwhite or two, dogwood and hawthorn in pretty white bloom. Show me a river, muddy and wide, forests and prairies, Ozark hillsides, and I'll show you Missouri, my land and my call. What's best for the people is our great call, and I'll show you Missouri, my land and my call. United we stand, divided we fall. Show me the Ozarks, let's take a day on topaz waters, waltzing away. Show me the bluestem and a fine Missouri mule, then pick up our fiddle, play me a tune, and I'll show you Missouri, my land and my call. What's best for the people is our great call, and I'll show you Missouri, my land and my call. United we stand, divided we fall. United we stand, divided we fall. Did you hear some of those clues in there? That's good. The bobwhite and the bluestem. Good job. Well, hey, we're going to head to the prairie and take a look at what a real live Missouri prairie looks like. You ready to go? Here we are.
Show me the prairie. Here we are out in the Missouri prairie. Don't you love these big grasslands? As you remember, prairies are grasslands. And we have a tall grass prairie in Missouri, which covered 1/3 of our state when our state was just a baby. So now we're getting some more coming back, but for now, we have to really enjoy the places and pieces that we still have. A tall grass prairie is known for its tall grasses, so I want to show you our big blue stem. Remember, that's our Missouri state grass. Big tall grass that's over my head. That one's probably about 7 or 8 feet tall, and the root system for that plant goes deep into the soil, as much or longer than the plant that's up above. So if you think about it, it's really long roots that go under there, and the soil is so rich and fertile. So many different kinds of plants grow right here on the prairie. Compared to like a field of fescue or something, this has so much more variety, and that's so healthy and actually helps other plants and animals come here. There's a lot of flowers here too that grow here. There's a spiderwort over here that's growing in the prairie, kind of a purple color. That's really pretty. And then over here, this is an interesting plant. Now, it's not flowering right now, but it's called a rattlesnake master. And that has got some really nice looking leaves that look a little bit like a yucca almost in the leaves. They're kind of interesting. Look at those long leaves. So Missouri has a lot of prairies and a lot of diversity. I like to think of some of the animals that live here too. Some of the things you might see other places, like mice or a vole, which looks a lot like a mouse. Cottontail rabbits live here, of course. This is great cover for them. You'll see deer in prairies as well. But one of the neat animals that lives on the prairie, I think, is a badger. Badgers are what I call the bulldozer of the prairie, because they have these really massive claws and they can dig faster than a person can. They dig huge holes. So that's one of the unusual animals you might see on a Missouri prairie. The biggest mammal in North America, however, is our bison, or buffalo as people call it. A bison is actually a national symbol for our country. It is our national mammal. You know how we talk about our state birds and our state trees? This is the national mammal, is the bison. And I have a skull to show you guys. Kind of gives you an idea how big this guy is. Woohoo! How would you like to run into one of those on the prairie? Wouldn't that be fun? Very neat. I'll let you kind of look at some of the sides of it. Those big horns. Look at that. Well, bison use these heavy-duty horns, of course, to defend themselves, but they also use them for digging and getting down to make what we call wallows in the soil. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I'll tell you what, bison are awesome. We don't have any running in our state like we used to, but we do have places like Prairie State Park that I would encourage you to visit, where they have a bison herd and you can actually see them on the prairie. It's so cool. So that's a really neat place to do. And as big as this animal is, it's still very fast. So you need to be cautious whenever you're around a bison. They can go up to speeds of 35 miles per hour when they're running towards something. So be aware of that. They can change directions super fast. So they're quite the strong animal. They can jump over fences, very agile too. So they're really neat. So, and what I was gonna say, pass the salad please, because these guys, this is what they eat. As big and strong of animals as they are, this is their diet, to forage on prairie grasses and all the good food that's out here for them in the plant kingdom. That's what they eat, and they love it. And then I was going to speak about the wallowing just a minute. So they actually take their little horns and their hooves and they make bare spots. They take out all this grass and they make a bare spot, and they'll roll around in it to get mud on them to keep the flies away. So they're smart animals. They've been a huge part of our culture and the Native American culture. We've even used their poop for fuel for campfires and cooking fires in our times of pioneer days. So thanks for visiting the prairie with me. It's a great day. Show me a prairie.
Wasn't that fun to see a prairie? I love it, and I brought an animal here for you to look at that lives on the prairie. I bet you've seen a box turtle before, right? This is an ornate box turtle, and he doesn't want to be up in the air too much. He's pushing his head back. An ornate box turtle is a little different. They don't get quite as big as a box turtle, and I love for you to see the underneath side. Most box turtles have that pretty brown underneath. Well, look at underneath his body. Ooh, he's got some pretty looking shell, doesn't he? That's why he's called an ornate box turtle. I'll show you his top too. Ornate box turtles eat mostly insects, like 80% of their diet is insects. And then they eat berries and some plants. So that's their main diet. And on the prairie, of course, as you saw, there's a lot of animals they can eat there. A lot of insects there, and a lot of plants that grow there. Ornate box turtles live a long time, like our common box turtles do too. So they never, they don't make good pets. Did you hear him kind of click his beak at you? He's like, put me down, I'm ready. So this is an ornate box turtle. They're great to have around. And in the winter time, when in that grassland, they can't survive, so they dig down about 18 inches under the soil, and they hang out underground all winter long. So then they come out, once it gets warm, they come back up. Their bodies feel that warmth and come back up. We'll let him get back home here for a minute, and then we're going to do a song about prairies. You ready? Okay. Let me put him back. This song is called Pioneer, and I want to teach you the sign language to it, okay? All right. So you grab one hand with the other and pull it forward like that. And say pioneer, walk, so you're walking with your hands, bravely through an undiscovered place. So you draw a circle out from you towards your belly with your thumbs. Undiscovered place, pioneer, walk, and then softly, so like you're picking cotton from the air, softly, good. So as not, just take your thumb, so as not to leave a trace. All right, let's sing Pioneer together. This is all about a prairie. I wrote it about a prairie. Join me with it. I want you to sing along, okay? Hitch your wagon to a star, let it pull you very far to a wide and grassy ocean, with winds and waves in motion. Dive right in and swim waist deep in prairie grass you can lead. It's a strong, wild frontier, but you're a pioneer. Pioneer, walk bravely through an undiscovered place. Pioneer, walk softly so as not to leave a trace. Good. The biggest sky you've ever seen, and the grass the greenest green. Flowers waving while you walk up above a soaring hawk. Distant thunder rolling in, rain and fire must begin. It's a strong and wild frontier, but you're a pioneer. Pioneer, walk bravely through an undiscovered place. Pioneer, walk so as not to leave a trace. Pioneer, walk bravely through an undiscovered place. Pioneer, walk softly so as not to leave a trace. Are you singing with me? Come join me. You are shouting in the wind, but no echo comes again. No fence or boundary, for as far as you can see, making homes in this sweet sod. Others stay where you have trod, but your heart can't settle here. No, you're a pioneer. Pioneer, walk bravely through an undiscovered place. Pioneer, walk softly so as not to leave a trace. Pioneer, walk bravely. Pioneer, walk bravely. Pioneer, walk softly so as not to leave a trace. Thank you, friends, for singing with me. What a privilege. And you know, being pioneers means that we are going out to discover something for the very first time. And when we do that, the message of the song is that we don't leave a trace behind us. We pick up our trash. We make sure that we do a really good job cleaning up our campsite. Or when we go hiking, we don't leave anything in the woods. We don't leave a trace behind us. And that's what true pioneers do. And so I hope you're a pioneer as well. Well, as we learn more about our prairies, I have another animal I want to show you that lives on the prairie. This one is a reptile. Can you say reptile? Reptiles include those turtles that we saw, our turtle friend. Now we're going to see a snake. Are you ready for it? The bull snake is what we're going to see. And the bull snake is the largest, gets to be the largest snake in Missouri. This one isn't the largest, but this species or this kind of snake gets to be the largest in Missouri. So I'm going to get him out. Here we go. Here's Mr. Bull Snake. All right. Bull snakes, don't you think they're really well camouflaged for living in the prairie? Because they've got that nice tan and brown, just like the prairie grasses that we saw. And the shade and the light also when they're going through the grasses. Bull snakes have kind of a unique sound that they make. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about snakes, we say, oh, hiss like a snake, right? But many of our snakes don't even really make much of a hissing sound. But this particular animal does, and he makes a big hissing sound. Like, he even has a little special flap in his throat that makes him even louder. So he's trying to scare away predators or scare away a person that might try to pick him up. We don't want to do that, generally picking up snakes, but I just wanted to show you this one. This snake is also what we call a constrictor. That means that it actually wraps its body around its prey and squeezes it until it can't breathe anymore, and then he eats it after it's dead. So that protects him because he doesn't have a really big mouth or really big teeth. So he wants to be able to kill his prey first before he eats it. Bull snakes can be long. 72 inches is or over 70 inches is the record in Missouri. In other places they get even longer, but our record is about that. So I see him sticking his tongue out at you. Does that mean he doesn't like you? No, he's smelling with his tongue. So snakes smell with their tongue. And he can't hear us. So he can make that big sound and everything, that big hissing sound, but he can't hear us. So snakes don't have ears like we do. They feel vibrations on their body. So that's the bull snake that lives on the prairie and eats a lot of mice on the prairie, voles that live on the prairie, even wood rats or rats that you might find on the prairie. He'll eat those too. So he's a good, what we call mouser, eating plenty of our rodents that we have. So I'm going to put him back. Thank you guys for listening about the prairie today. Today we did Show Me Prairies. Prairies are awesome, big grasslands that we had in our wonderful state. And we have a few left, and people are planting them every day and putting in new ones. We started one as a family. We have a small 4-acre prairie, and there's so many more animals in it now that it's a prairie, and plants. We see all kinds of different things. So I encourage you to learn more about our state, and remember to enjoy Missouri's birthday this summer. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.